Latest on the SU student diagnosed with tuberculosis. We'll hear from other students that have gotten tested for TB.
Cowboys nationwide are mourning at the loss of a country megastar last night.
Good morning, Syracuse. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's a bit chilly outside, but the sun is shining. I'll have more weather updates coming up on Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning. I'm Josh Crawford. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Whitney Williams. Here's a look at today's top story. You may have noticed Syracuse winters have been getting warmer and warmer. While there's been no shortage of rain and sleet, usually warm temperatures so far this winter have caused far less snow than usual for a January in Syracuse. Mornings on the Hill reporter Rico Lopez has more about the milder winters and the potentially hazardous causes behind them.
Thank you, Whitney. January saw Syracuse 4 degrees above average temperature for the month. And it hasn't just been warmer this month. But for the past 5 years, Syracuse has exceeded average January temperatures. And all this warm weather has us wondering, where's all the snow? As the climate warms, it's causing more rain and wetter winters for central New York. It also cuts the normal amount of snowfall in half. According to CNY Weather, this winter Syracuse is 62 inches behind the seasonal average of snowfall. The New York Department of Environmental Conservation says greenhouse gas emissions from human activities are responsible for accelerating global warming and climate change. These warm temperatures are impacting winter recreation businesses, wildlife, and increases the risk of wildfires, says NYDEC. I spoke to a Syracuse University senior who has noticed the warm temperatures.
Yeah, some days are colder than others. I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into. But honestly, all things considered, I think we've had pretty mild winters, right? They haven't been so bad.
And this hasn't just been a central New York issue. 2023 was the warmest year on record. Reporting live from Mornings on the Hill, I'm Rico Lopez.
Thanks, Rico. After missing out on the 2023 iteration due to the weather being too nice, Jonathan Kinane tells us how the Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic had to adopt and overcome to make a return in 2024. Jonathan?
These are the sounds of pond hockey. The Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic returned to the ice for the first time in more than 2 years. For participants like Randy Hadzor, it marked the return of a long-enjoyed pastime.
I guess we grew up skating on the Upper Onondaga when it freezes in the winter. We used to shovel it off when we were little, and so when we saw the pond hockey tournament come back, just like super excited and had to put a team together.
Now, up here at Hiawatha Lake in Syracuse's Strathmore neighborhood, where the event is usually held, it looked like the Pond Hockey Classic was on thin ice yet again, the mild weather threatening to cancel the event for the second straight year. So organizers had to act fast. And they did, moving the tournament here to Clinton Square.
We had to come up with a good backup plan, and we decided this was the perfect venue to move the event to downtown. Still outside, players get to play outside and enjoy the elements.
While fans and participants were happy to see the event back on the calendar, the fact that O'Donnell and company were able to hold the tournament has long-term significance for the future of the Pond Hockey Classic.
If we didn't have it this year, we would have been done, in my mind. You know, a lot of these players have been waiting 2 years to play. Our sponsors have been great and supportive, but it's just hard to ask for money when you have such an inconsistent event.
Next year, the tournament is aiming to return to the ice of Hiawatha Lake. But no matter what happened, there will be a next year. Reporting from Syracuse, I'm Jonathan Kinane.
As you've been hearing all morning, it's not the usual type of winter we were expecting this year in Syracuse.
That's right, Whitney. Our weatherman, Michigan's finest and noted Jerry golf enthusiast, Patrick Smith is outside live on the current forecast. Patrick, what you got?
Good morning, Syracuse. If you're shivering out here like a penguin, well, you're not alone. We're clocking in at a brisk 27 degrees, a bit chilly, but guess what? The sun decided to grace its presence for us this morning. So if you're joining me in the great outdoors, make sure to give yourself a pat on the back. Now, looking at the wind, it is as calm as a sloth on a Sunday morning at around a north-northeast at 2 miles an hour, but we'll have a look at the future forecast in just a few minutes. Reporting for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Patrick Smith.
A river-fueled storm is breaking rainfall records in California. According to CNN, the storm is unleashing torrential rain and floods throughout the West Coast. At least 3 people have died from fallen trees in Northern California, whilst numerous homes have been damaged by flooding and mudslides. The storm is also affecting travel, where thousands of flights in and out of the state have been canceled or delayed.
It's been 2 weeks since a Syracuse University student was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Dipanjali Sharma joins us live with the latest. Dipanjali?
Josh, as of now, there haven't been any updates since the medical director at SU, Dr. Karen Nadella, sent out a campus-wide email 2 weeks ago, notifying students and the faculty about the recent tuberculosis diagnosis. Those who were in contact with the student have been alerted by the Onondaga County Health Department, and some students who were potentially exposed report receiving additional safety measures. Tuberculosis is an infectious airborne disease that spreads when an infected person coughs or sneezes. The symptoms include bad cough for a prolonged time, usually consistently for 2 or 3 weeks, severe weight loss, shortness of breath, night sweats, and swollen lymph nodes. It is, however, a curable disease and is treated with either a standard 6-month antibiotic course or, in severe cases, 9 months. The disease mostly occurs in sub-Saharan Africa, Eastern Europe, and Asia. As a mandate, international students have to undergo a tuberculosis test upon arrival in the United States. A student from Whitman School says the diagnosed student is a business major and the school has taken extra precautionary steps to ensure everyone's safety.
Within a week or 2, we had to take the TB test. Yeah. Finally, we also got Dean's email to get ourselves tested, and in Whitman they organized a special day dedicated to just testing, getting yourself tested for tuberculosis.
While not verified at the moment, as most active cases of tuberculosis are seen overseas, we're assuming that the diagnosed student is an international student as well. Reporting live, I'm Dipanjali Sharma for Mornings on the Hill.
Thank you, Dipanjali. The battle over Interstate 81 in downtown Syracuse has taken yet another turn. A New York State appeals court unanimously struck down a year-old ruling that said the Department of Transportation must complete additional studies before the aging viaduct could be removed. The I-81 opposition group Renew 81 for All says they plan on appealing the decision.
Area yesterday, hoping to apply some much-needed pressure on local Representative Brandon Williams to support the bipartisan border bill. Williams previously called the bill dead on arrival on the House floor. Hochul says the proposal will help New York State by providing relief for the state's cost of housing 70,000 migrants.
February marks the most culturally significant 28-day stretch of the year. Black History Month will celebrate with the SU will be hosting a number of SU will be hosting a number of Black History Month events this month. One of the main events was a celebration honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The event drew thousands to the JMA Dome in Syracuse. Our Zatozia Duffy joins us live with the coverage of MSU's MLK event.
Just a short time ago, the college hosted its 39th annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration in the campus's dome. With nearly 2,000 tickets sold, members of the community, students, faculty, and staff gathered to pay homage to King's dream.
Award-winning journalist Iris St. Moran hosted Sunday's program. The celebration welcomed people of all faiths and walks of life, honoring this year's theme, The Reach of the Dream. Performances included African dancing and drumming, lyrical and hip-hop dancing, and musical selections from the MLK Community Choir. Their musical selections included Oh Happy Day and the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. The synergy of the chorus reminded the audience of the program's purpose, to celebrate the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., but to also hold a sacred space for one another. Syracuse University also honored its unsung heroes, who were students and faculty who were nominated for their excellent contributions to the Syracuse community. This year's keynote speaker was big data expert and statistician Dr. Talithia Williams. She asked the audience what they thought MLK's dream would be today if he were still alive, and spoke about the importance of representation in the STEM field for Black and brown girls.
I'm Zatazia Duffley with Mornings on the Hill. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Atasia. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, shocking news out of Buckingham Palace.
And country fans wake up to the loss of a legend.
This and more, stay with us.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. It's time to check your weather for today. R. Patrick Smith, Division III lacrosse legend, is in studio with a look at your full weather forecast. Patty?
Well, thanks, Josh. Hello there, Central New York. Let's take a look at our regional temperatures. Starting off, Syracuse sitting at that 28 spot. Further north, push it up. Watertown is at 24. Glen Falls a little bit to our west, or excuse me, east at 27. Albany's at a cool 29. Binghamton's in the frosty 27 club. And Rochester is twinning with Syracuse at a snug 33. And it comes as a surprise that the sun is out right now, coming as this is one of the cloudiest cities in the nation. Let's take a look at the current forecast. Weather outside is still giving us a cold shoulder with temperatures hovering around a not so toasty 28 degrees. If you're wondering where those breezes are coming from, it's none other than the north, where the winds are so gentle they could barely blow out a birthday candle. Now let's look at tomorrow's forecast. We're starting things off with a chilly 25 degrees, and those clouds are rolling in like they're to a birthday party. By afternoon, we crank the heat up to 38 with the sun breaking through those clouds. And evening plans? Well, get ready to take those extra layers off because we warm up to a 44 degrees and that sun is still out. As the night rolls in, we cool off a bit, but are staying above that freezing temp. Phil the Groundhog has predicted an early spring, and it looks like we're getting an early spring with the upcoming forecast. Thursday is hitting 52. Can you believe that? In early February. Neither can I. Friday keeping it warm as well as we stick to that 52 mark, and that's going to wrap it up for our 5-day forecast. Josh, Whitney, back to you guys.
Thanks, Patrick. Now, in international news, we have some shocking reports from London. King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer. In a statement from Buckingham Palace, doctors detected the cancer during the King's recent hospital procedure for a benign prostate enlargement. The King will suspend his public appearances while continuing to carry out his state duties.
Country music singer-songwriter Toby Keith died last night at 62 years old. AP reports that Keith was battling stomach cancer. A statement posted on his website says the country singer passed away peacefully, surrounded by family. He was diagnosed with the cancer in 2022. Keith was known for his #1 Billboard hits, such as Should Have Been a Cowboy and Beer for My Horse. That's a nice name. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, SU men's basketball prepares to hit the road for a rivalry clash.
And the SU women are looking to rebound after their first loss of 2024. Stay with us for more on Your Orange Sports.
Welcome back inside our Newhouse studios. I'm Mike Ostrowski with your Orange Sports update here on Mornings on the Hill. SU men's lacrosse began their third season under head coach Gary Gait this weekend, looking to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 3 years. With returning stars in attack Joey Spallina and goalie Will Mark, along with 4 crucial transfer additions, the Orange are shaping up to make a run at their 12th national championship. Their first challenge this year was Saturday against Vermont. New attack Christian Muley scored the first goal of the season. The Lehigh transfer would finish with a hat trick in the opener. So did Luke Roa. The returning sophomore gave SU their first lead of the campaign, and they didn't slow down from there. A 9-goal second period propelled the Orange to a massive double-digit lead at halftime. Throwing some Joey Spallina theatrics out of the break, and the result was a blowout. A 27 Orange victory in the opener. Last night's game against Colgate was more of the same. SU built an early 5-0 lead and never looked back. Spallina picked up 4 goals this time out, while Michael Leo and Owen Hilt had 3 apiece. New faceoff specialist Mason Cohn was excellent, winning 17 of 22 at the X, while his team won the game 18-10. Afterwards, head coach Gary Gates spoke about the offensive explosion during these first two games.
Offensively, I think you've seen a lot of great chemistry in our first two games. You know, some multiple highlight goals with ball movement, and that's what we focus on and work on. And that's, you know, our identity from last year, you know, continuing and even growing this year to become, you know, a little bit better, more cohesive and spreading the ball around a little bit more. And you're going to see highlight goals every game.
SU returns to the Dome turf Friday at 4 against Manhattan. It's a good thing that lacrosse is off to a hot start because their Dome counterpart season is rapidly derailing. Our Zach Priest is live this morning to discuss what's gone wrong with Syracuse men's basketball.
Thanks. The Orange suffered a crushing 99-70 loss at the hands of Wake Forest over the weekend, a loss that left head coach Adrian Autry, let's say, less than thrilled.
I'd like to apologize to our fans, our university, for that performance. It's unacceptable. Won't be tolerated. Won't be allowed. Won't allow it.
Syracuse now finds itself 84th in the net rankings after Saturday's blowout loss, and typically, if you want to be in the big dance, you've got to be near those 30s marks. So safe to say they've got some work to do as we get into the home stretch of the season. You know, the Orange, like I said, they've got some work to do, and they've got some opportunities. They have 6 quad 1 or 2 opportunities still left on the schedule as they hope to make a strong case going down the stretch for a potential spot in the big dance. The Orange are next in action tomorrow night. Back to you, Mike.
Syracuse women's basketball is still in the top 25 after splitting their games last week, despite falling to number 16 Louisville on Thursday. The Orange rebounded on Sunday with a 75-63 victory at Boston College. That prevented SU from falling more than just the one spot. They'll check in at number 23 in the AP poll this week. A huge reason for the team's continued success has been Diasia Fair. Thanks to 2 more strong individual performances, she was named ACC Player of the Week. Her 38 points against BC on Sunday were the most of her Syracuse career. The 50-year phenom continues to climb up the record book. She's now got the 6th highest score in the NCAA Division I history. And finally, we take a look at spring football. Franz Brown program will have their first open practice on March 21st, and 1 month later, they'll welcome Orange fans into the Dome for their spring game. There's not an official time for that scrimmage just yet, but expect it to be sometime during the evening. Now, Zach, who are you looking forward to seeing most as we get into spring camp?
Yeah, a couple guys. I got Marlo Wax and LaQuint Allen. Marlo Wax, of course, coming back for a 5th year. He's going to serve a huge role as well as the junior running back, LaQuint Allen.
I'm looking at some of the new guys. Kyle McCord, the QB transfer from Ohio State. And, of course, you've got to give a shout-out to the big fella, Fadil Diggs, coming in from Texas A&M. The D-line's been a huge issue on the Orange these last couple of years, so you've got to have someone that kind of size.
And I agree with you, Mike. Back to you guys at the desk.
So from here on Mornings on the Hill, a poetry slam comes to Syracuse to begin Black History Month, and Taylor Swift wins big.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. 6 days into Black History Month, our reporter Kristen Lilly swung by the Community Folk Arts Center in Syracuse to hear some of the wide-ranging cultural experiences of different Black artists. Kristen, what you got?
Thanks, Josh. On Friday, the center, commonly referred to as CFAC, hosted an exciting art and poetry slam. This event was a creation of Black artists from both Syracuse University and the community at large.
Warrants have been served to the Black indigenous people.
Slam poetry, a unique form of art that Cedric Bolton has come to master. Audience members filled the Community Folk Art Center, eager and excited to be entertained.
It sounds pretty cool. When you go to an open mic, you hear the snaps and you hear the taps, right? And so what better way to say snaps and taps, open mic.
And that's exactly what the crowd did. The Snaps and Taps event led by Bolton kicked off the theme of Black History Month. As an artist, he shares his personal struggles.
My poem is called Cancer, where I was going through a time in 6 years in remission, and I wrote this poem while I was going through chemo.
The malignant cancer of society by your ideology.
I started to think about what's the metaphor for cancer, right? And looking at the society and what was going on.
Bolton turned his situation into motivation to inspire the youth in his community.
what I never thought I could do, I'm doing, and then giving it back to the kids and letting them know at an early age that this is possible if you continue to write.
Even young adults like Sophia Rodriguez was inspired to transform her writing into performance.
I'm Black and I had to repeat it too.
She emphasizes her identity.
I'm Afro-Cuban. I think it's important that when we're talking about the Caribbean, specifically Cuba, that we center the experiences of Black and Indigenous people heavily. I incorporated a lot of the Spanish to keep my community and audience very targeted. Part of the Spanish that I was talking about is just inquiring about how the language sounds so pretty and nice all the time, when in reality I'm speaking about loads of trauma and all the pain that I'm experiencing.
These people came together with a interest, a common interest in wanting to, 1, celebrate Black History Month, 2, be entertained, and then 3, support artists in our community.
And indeed, they showed their support.
Black and unapologetic about it.
I'm Kristen Lilly from Mornings on the Hill. Back to you.
Thanks, Kristen. Taylor Swift held her head high as she made history at the Grammy Awards on Sunday night. Swift achieved her wildest dreams and she won the award for Album of the Year. Well, that's it for us here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Whitney Williams. Follow us on social media.
And I'm Josh Crawford. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you again next Wednesday at 10 a.m.